breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
Well, that breaking news we're following as Raleigh police had a car that was hit. We're taking you to the scene of that aftermath, plus what led up to the crash to begin with.
And it's a nice start this morning as you're looking over at the State Fair. We'll talk about our temperatures this week as you make your plans to head out.
A Wilson school reopening. A powerful tornado heavily damaged it a year ago. We're giving you a look at the new and improved Springfield Middle School. Well, hello there. I've been gone for a little bit, but I'm back. Don't worry, just birthing some PTO. I'm so happy to be here on WRAL News. As you're joining us this morning, I'm Chris Lovingood. We do have Elizabeth Gardner getting you a look at your weather forecast to begin today. I had the jacket on this morning, Elizabeth. It was a beautiful fall morning.
It really is gorgeous. We had that cold front move through last night. A little bit of wind with that, a little bit of rain. We definitely need the rain. We're going to talk about how dry it's been so far this fall coming up. But it is nice out there right now, 52 degrees as we take a live look over the State Fair this morning. Our temperature in Roxborough is 50. It's 56 in Fayetteville, 55, Rocky Mount, 52, Southern Pines. So temperatures are comfortable, very close to normal, but it was a little bit warmer ahead of the front yesterday. So this morning, our temperatures in some places are as much as 5 to 10 degrees cooler. We check out our forecast for today. We'll hold it in the upper 40s to low 50s all the way up until around 9 o'clock. And then we climb into the low 70s this afternoon. So beautiful day at the fair. I'll let you know how many more of these we'll see this week coming up.
All right, sounds good, Elizabeth. We'll come back to you in a bit. Okay, back to that breaking news that we're following. A Raleigh police officer was injured after someone crashed into the back of his squad car. This happened this morning on I-440 near Glenwood Avenue. Let's bring in Allie Calabar. She's live at that scene in the WRAL breaking news tracker. Allie, forensics teams, they were there for what, more than 3 hours?
And within the past 30 minutes, Chris, we saw tow trucks and DOT crews leaving that scene. It is now clear on I-440 East near Glenwood Avenue. But we know that the officer and the driver of that SUV, they are hurt. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. You can see the rear end of that officer's cruiser is badly damaged, as well as the front of the SUV. Now, here's what we know from Raleigh police. They say that the officer was on the way to a different crash on 440 East. While the officer was responding to that crash, an SUV rear-ended the officer's cruiser. Now, both the driver and the officer are expected to live. They had non-life-threatening injuries. But listen to this broadcasted by radio traffic of the moments officers showed up to that scene.
It's an officer involved. One trauma. As of right now, the police officer is also going to be a trauma, so it's going to be 2 total traumas. Medical is taking the first patient that is already out of the vehicle.
Again, we know that the officer and the driver of that SUV are in the hospital. We're working to learn the cause of the crash. We know it is under investigation. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Calabar, WRAL News.
Today, students will return to the classroom more than 14 months after a tornado heavily damaged their school. What you're seeing here is video from Springfield Middle School in Wilson County. It was hit by a tornado last August. In fact, WRAL's Monica Casey is live there this morning ahead of the big return. Monica, it has been such a long road to recovery for that school.
It has been. After months of work, these students here at Springfield Middle will finally get back into their classrooms. These repairs took months, but they were also completed months ahead of schedule. Now take a look at this video of the damage from that EF3 tornado last August. Parts of the roof of this building were torn off, and the school says the 6th and 7th grade wings had to be rebuilt. Classes have been held in the auditorium and the media center, along with temporary mobile units here. One person also died in that tornado last year. School officials say this reopening is a show of resilience and community. Stay with us here on WRAL. We'll be getting inside this building to show you the new and improved school later on this morning. Live in Lucama, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Governor Josh Stein and First Lady Anna Stein will be at the State Fair today, and they'll tour the fairgrounds, meet vendors, and sample food in support of North Carolina's agricultural industry. They plan to be there at 3 o'clock this afternoon. And you should come meet the WRAL family at the fair if you have time. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and Chris Michaels will be at our booth. That is from 10:30 to 11:30 this morning. And then meteorologist Kat Campbell and Tar Heel traveler Scott Mason will greet you from 2 to 3. Just make sure you stop by and say hi. Happening today, civil rights leader William Barber and others plan to pray in outside Senator Ted Budd's office. That's on Fayetteville Street in Raleigh. Barber says that he wants to draw attention to Medicaid protections that could be on the federal chopping block. Barber also plans to address federal furloughs, pay delays because of the shutdown, and aggressive deportation tactics. Republican Senator Norman Sanderson was arrested because he was accused of driving while drunk. Sanderson represents District 2, including Pamlico and Halifax counties, among others. He was taken into custody Saturday night in Raleigh. According to arrest records, a trooper stopped Sanderson just before 8 p.m. Investigators say he failed to follow a traffic direction at Edwards Mill and Trinity Roads. Well, trooper said that his blood alcohol content level was twice the legal limit. The 74-year-old lawmaker released a statement about the arrest. He said, quote, "I made a regrettable mistake and I take responsibility for my actions. I want to apologize to my constituents, my colleagues, and my family for letting them down," end quote. Sanderson also faces misdemeanor charges of failure to obey a traffic officer and transporting an open container of alcohol. He'll be back in court on November 7th. 3 men were accused and arrested of firing guns into the ground at an Airbnb rental in Raleigh. And this happened yesterday morning on Donna Road. A neighbor shared video of a man near the home hitting the front of a car with what appears to be a handgun. You see that right here in this video. Another neighbor told us noise at the home, it's been a problem before, but nothing like this.
I felt like we were hunkered down in our house, not knowing if there was going to be gunshots flying through our home. And if these houses are going to keep being in these neighborhoods, there needs to be stricter rules.
Sunshine Corporate Housing is listed as the property manager, and so WRAL reached out to them through the Airbnb app. Part of their response reads, quote, "I've just heard about this inconvenience. This is the first time this has ever happened," end quote. We've also reached out to Airbnb, the company, and we're still waiting to hear back from them. Vice President J.D. Vance says he or another administration official likely will head to Israel soon. This comes as President Trump says the ceasefire in Gaza is holding despite dozens of people being killed during fighting between Hamas and Israel yesterday. Gaza hospitals say more than 40 people died in airstrikes, and a senior Israeli official says humanitarian aid and shipments to Gaza will continue today after a pause yesterday. Part of the Louvre is closed today after a daring daylight robbery at the museum. French investigators say it happened around 9:30 yesterday morning while the museum was open. The thieves targeted the home of the French crown jewels on the second floor, and they reportedly stole 9 items in just 7 minutes. The stolen items include a tiara, a sapphire necklace, and a single sapphire earring. They left behind a 140-carat Regent diamond, one of the Louvre's most prized possessions. At least 3 to 4 thieves were involved, according to investigators, and this is happening during a time of heightened tension at the world-famous museum. Staff have been protesting understaffing and overcrowding, too. More than $100,000 was raised for the victims of the Southport mass shooting and their families. Thousands of people came out to the Southport Strong benefit concert this weekend. There was music, food, and drinks, along with a fundraising auction. The money will help the families of the shooting at the American Fish Company shooting on September 27th. 3 people were killed and 6 others were injured. 40-year-old Nigel Edge is charged in that shooting. He's in jail at last check with no bond, and his next hearing is set for November 13th. Today, voting rights advocates will head to court for a trial with election implications. State voting rights groups are suing the state legislature over a law passed in 2023 that might change elections. Conservatives say the law helps improve trust in elections. However, the Southern Coalition for Social Justice and other civil rights groups, well, they disagree. They say it's intentionally written to make it harder to register to vote. They also claim the law makes it easier for legitimate ballots to be thrown in the trash. Today's trial starts at 2 p.m. in Winston-Salem. There are more details about that case on WRAL.com. Today, Wake County commissioners are expected to approve the use of an apex road for the Viridia development, and that site is 1,100 acres large. It's near US 1 and I-540, just so you understand where that is. The plan is to develop it into shops, restaurants, hotels, apartments, and office spaces, and we're talking up to 8,000 single-family townhomes and multifamily units are part of this plan. Commissioners are expected to set across a section of Old Holly Springs Apex Road to be used as part of the driveway to the development, and that meeting is happening at 2 p.m. today. The homecoming experience at North Carolina Central University continues today. This week's event kicks off with tonight's crowning of Miss and Mr. NCCU, followed by a gospel concert. That runs from 6 to 8 at McDougal-McClendon Arena in Durham. We've got a full list of the events happening this week on campus on our website, WRAL.com. Tonight, we will learn who will play the LA Dodgers in this year's World Series. The Toronto Blue Jays and Seattle Mariners will play Game 7 of the American League Championship Series tonight. The Blue Jays forced a Game 7 with a 6-2 win last night in Game 6. First pitch for Game 7 will be at 8:08 on Fox 50. And just so you know, Fox 50 will also be your home for the World Series. Game 1 will be on Friday night. And WRAL is your home for the return of the NBA on NBC. The NBA season will tip off right here on WRAL tomorrow night. The Rockets host the Thunder, and then the Golden State Warriors take on the LA Lakers. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. And be sure to tune in to the Today Show for special pregame coverage. Watch the WRAL Morning Show and the Today Show for all your NBA coverage. Your time is 4:40. AI content protection. Meta is introducing a new feature to help keep children safe. How the update gives parents more control and doing their part. How some volunteers in Colorado are supporting national parks during the government shutdown. Do want to give you a live look this morning in Fenton and Cary. Pretty quiet out there. Obviously, it's 4:40, right? Weather whiplash is back at it again. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner will show us the mornings this week that may just require a puffer jacket.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
4:44. It is pleasant out there this morning. 55 in Wilson, 52 in Durham, and 56 in Fayetteville. It's cool enough for a jacket, but it's pretty normal for this time of year. I'll show you what the normals are coming up in just a few minutes. It is 48 in Roxborough, so a little cooler there. 56 in Fayetteville, 52 Cary, 58 in Goldsboro. We had our cold front move through overnight last night. Brought a little wind, a quick little shot of rain, but it really wasn't very much. But we have seen much cooler, drier air start to filter in. It's definitely drier. We're way down at 41 for the muggy meter right now. So walking the dog this morning, it feels great out there. Temperatures will be upper 40s to low 50s up until around 9 a.m. Our high this afternoon, 71, lots and lots of sunshine. Beautiful day to spend some time outside. We will talk about how much we really needed that rain last night, though, coming up.
A Cleveland high school football player is recovering at home this morning after suffering a medical emergency at a game on Friday night. His father spoke with WRAL about the moment he sprang into action after his son went down. During the game against Southeast Raleigh, wide receiver Chris John Clark went into cardiac arrest after making a catch in the second half. Well, his mother and father were in the stands and ran onto the field while the coaches and training staff performed CPR. His father, Chris, told us he even began performing chest compressions on Chris John himself. They were eventually able to use an AED to deliver an electric shock to Chris John's chest, restoring his heartbeat.
I've done the CPR and the AED training, probably 6 or 7 times now, not thinking that one day I may have to use this on my own kid. We almost lost our son, and so we just couldn't thank God and thank people that work with him enough.
Goodness, God clearly looking over that family. Chris John was released from the hospital yesterday, and his family says he even went to church as well. His father says he has to undergo testing to determine, though, if he's able to return to the field, but definitely glad he's doing better. Meta is giving parents more control over AI content that may be inappropriate for their children. The company is adding a feature to allow parents to block chats they don't want their children engaging. They will be able to see the chats their child is having without completely disabling all AI access. Meta says their chatbots are trained not to have discussions with minors on topics such as self-harm, eating disorder, even suicide. Some previous reports, though, suggest otherwise. The new feature will be on Instagram early next year. Southwest Airlines is launching a new boarding system. It's called WILMA. That's an acronym for windows, middle, and aisles. That's the order in which passengers will be seated. The airline has tested the system for months in some locations. Boarding will start from the back of the aircraft, and there will be 2 lines, one for the current boarding group and another for the next. The new system begins in January. A new study shows living longer may not mean living better for retired seniors. The finance company John Hancock teamed up with MIT to create what they call a longevity preparedness index. Basically, it showed older Americans are largely underprepared to live well financially as they age. A survey of more than 1,300 adults showed the most problematic areas were care, housing, finance, and health. Preparedness was the lowest scoring indicator. We're days away from the federal government shutdown entering its 3rd week, and many federal agencies are taking hits. For example, the agency in charge of overseeing the country's nuclear stockpile will furlough most of its staff. That's happening today, in fact. A spokesperson says about 1,400 workers at the National Nuclear Security Administration will receive notices. Fewer than 400 workers will stay on the job. The agency has never furloughed its workforce before. Sources say, despite this is not a national security threat. All right, we do want to swing over to the situation weather-wise, things changing. Obviously, it's feeling very much as it should be right now, fall-wise. Had to wear a jacket this morning, but are we going to see any kind of warm-up? Is this kind of the status quo for the week?
It's really going to be the status quo. If anything, we're going to see a second front behind this one that cools us down even more towards, say, Thursday. So this one moved through very little rain with us. You can see there right about 10 or 11, we had that tiny band of rain move through. We really needed some rain. We're going to talk about how far behind we are for the fall coming up. But here's a live look, of course, at what's happening there at the State Fair, and they are all ready for another big day, starting the week-long event starting here on Monday. We take a look down Fayetteville Street. It's a little bit breezy out there this morning. Our temperature 52, but our dew point's way down at 41. That means we have a very dry air mass in place. We could dip into the upper 40s by 7 or 8 o'clock, and then temperatures will slowly climb into the 60s around lunchtime. 55 Rocky Mount, 48 Roxborough, 56 in Fayetteville. Around the Triangle, it's 52 in Cary and Raleigh, 55 in Garner, 50 degrees over in Chapel Hill. Around town, it's going to feel nice this afternoon, 71 in Raleigh and Durham, 74 in Fayetteville, lots of sunshine. It'll be a beautiful day at the State Fair, and Wake County schools have a day off. I imagine that there'll be a lot of kids over there today. Two cold fronts, one that moved through overnight last night. High pressure builds in. High pressure systems tend to bring us nice weather. It tends to be clear, comfortable. As the high moves in, we're cooler because we see that flow right around that high coming around from the north. And then we have another front that comes through on Wednesday, and we turn even colder behind it. Talk about wearing a coat, Chris. Take a look at this. Down to 41 on Friday morning. Oh, yeah. So we could see some patchy frost, especially in our northern or rural counties. 49 is our normal low, so that is going to put us below normal. Tomorrow morning is going to be real chilly, too. Cooler than this morning at 46, but then ahead of the front, or when the front comes through Wednesday, we're back up to 52. So, you know, we're up and down a little bit. We're going to have some pretty weather at the fair, though. Today, 71, 77 tomorrow, and then 72 on Wednesday. That front looks like it's going to be fairly dry. As much as we need the rain, it looks like we will be rain-free with that front. But it definitely cools us off, and highs will be in the 60s for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Racing Worms, a Western North Carolina festival bringing wormy friends to the starting line. Who took home the #1 prize? Plus, Brandy canceled a performance over a health concern. And a Hayao Miyazaki classic returns to theaters. That and more entertainment news to come. All right, to catch you up on music and movie news and pop culture, here's Ava Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
She's very troubled. She's running from this insane past.
Brandy is apologizing for a health scare that caused her to abruptly end a weekend show. The performer posted on Instagram she experienced dehydration and feelings of wanting to faint before leaving the stage in Chicago Saturday night to seek medical attention. She thanked her fans for their love, support, and prayers.
He is lost, and he is desperate.
Walton Goggins has joined the cast of the action thriller Painter, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Amber Midthunder stars as a young woman with a particular set of skills who will need those skills to rescue her kidnapped father. Goggins plays the dad in distress. No word when the film is due in theaters.
Chihiro, we're almost there.
The Hayao Miyazaki classic Spirited Away is back in theaters through Wednesday as part of Studio Ghibli Fest 2025. Locations and showtimes at fathomentertainment.com. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The annual Woolly Worm Festival wrapped up in Banner Elk, and this event celebrates the fuzzy caterpillars some people believe can predict the severity of winter. I mean, we have meteorologists here, but why not look to the worm, right? A big draw of the festival is the Woolly Worm race. Saturday's winner was Maribel Murphy from Indiana. She took home $1,000 with her worm, Billy. Sunday's winners were Fernando and Javier, two chefs at the Beach Mountain Club. They won with their speedy worm, Marshmallow. Very furry caterpillar. The Home Chef Smoke 'em Up Turkey Breast Challenge. Oh, it did not disappoint at the State Fair this weekend. Allie Woody came in third with her brine smoked turkey breast. Jennifer Curie's smoked turkey Brunswick stew finished second. And top honors in the blue ribbon went to Jessica Williams Henry. That was for her If a Cardinal Could Talk smoked turkey breast. A lot of folks laced up their running shoes this weekend for a big event in Durham. This is the Bull City Race Fest. The races started and finished at Diamond View Park at the American Tobacco campus yesterday. Runners could choose from the half marathon, 5-miler, or 1-mile distances.
So this race is in its 13th year, lucky number 13. Interestingly enough, it has been a lucky year because it's a beautiful weather today, and we have more runners out today than we've had since before COVID.
Roughly 3,000 runners participated this year. Money raised by the race is going to the Duke Cancer Institute. Actually, our news director, Mike Friedrich, was one of the runners taking on the half marathon. His time, 2 hours and 9 minutes. Okay, Mike, we see you. Go ahead. He was able to send us this video from his perspective just after he finished the race. And just so you know, WRAL is a proud community partner of the 2025 Bull City Race Fest. This weekend, hundreds of helpers volunteered at the Rise Against Hunger warehouse in North Raleigh. They filled boxes with soy protein, dried vegetables, and other food to be shipped around the world. When a truck is filled with boxes, well, that's enough food for 285,000 meals. And organizers say one box has enough food to feed one child for an entire year. Wow. Ahead at 5 o'clock, a redistricting battle. Today, state lawmakers will be debating new congressional maps. The pushback from Democrats as Republicans try to pick up another seat in 2026. And a Wilson school reopening after a tornado damaged it last year. We are getting you a look at the new and improved Springfield Middle School.